Paris, the eternal capital of style, awakens once again to the rhythm of Fashion Week. Each season, the city becomes a living museum of beauty and innovation, a place where tradition meets imagination, where designers translate culture into fabric, and where every street corner whispers the story of couture. Among the many names that define this world, one stands apart, not for its volume, but for its silence: Hermès. For nearly 2 centuries, the House of Hermès has cultivated an identity built on precision, patience, and perfection. It has never chased attention, it has earned reverence. The Women's Spring-Summer 2026 collection embodies that same quiet confidence. Presented in Paris, the show was not a spectacle, but a study, an exploration of light, texture, and craftsmanship. The venue, designed with minimalist geometry, was bathed in sunlight that streamed through wide openings, reflecting off pale sand-colored walls. The atmosphere was warm, calm, and intensely focused. The audience, editors, buyers, celebrities, and longtime clients, entered the space as if stepping into a sanctuary. No flashing lights, no booming music, no artificial drama. The silence before the first look felt almost sacred. When the show began, it unfolded with the deliberate pace of a story told by hand. The opening look set the tone. A sleek, sculpted jacket in soft natural leather paired with ivory silk trousers. It was understated yet commanding, like a whisper that draws attention more powerfully than a shout. The texture of the materials caught the sunlight, shifting subtly as the model moved. Hermès has always treated fashion as an art of tactility, where touch defines beauty. This collection continued that legacy by emphasizing the dialogue between skin and fabric, motion and material. Each look that followed expanded on this theme. The silhouettes were relaxed but structured, refined but fluid. A long sleeveless coat in vegetable tan leather brushed the floor lightly as the model walked. A linen dress, cut with precision, moved with the ease of air. A silk tunic in pale terracotta flowed like a continuation of breath. The color palette evolved slowly, from pale neutrals to deeper, sun-warm tones. It began with sand, ecru, and chalk white, then deepened into saffron, sienna, and copper. By the middle of the show, muted ocean blues and soft olive greens appeared, adding a new dimension of cool tranquility. Each color looked as if it had been faded by sunlight and time, a palette drawn not from paint but from nature itself. Music guided the transition. Soft piano chords woven with ambient tones created a hypnotic rhythm. The sound was modern yet timeless, echoing Hermès's ability to exist both in the present and beyond it. This was a collection about stillness, about the power of simplicity to reveal complexity. Every seam, every fold, every surface was the result of extraordinary craftsmanship. The artisans in Hermès's ateliers are not just makers, they are guardians of tradition. Their work is invisible yet essential, their skill transforming raw material into living form. In a single jacket, the alignment of panels and precision of stitching demonstrated mastery honed over generations. In a dress, the use of sheer overlay revealed Hermès' sensitivity to proportion and balance. Nothing was accidental. The materials were quintessentially Hermès: calfskin, nappa leather, washed linen, and silk. But this season introduced new experimental techniques. Leathers softened to near weightless texture, silks treated with wax finishes to create subtle reflections, and linen dyed using botanical pigments for natural irregularity. Each piece carried the mark of the artisan's hand, even when the finish appeared impossibly smooth. Hermès's approach rejects excess ornamentation. The beauty lies in the precision of execution. As the show progressed, the light shifted. The set, designed to mimic the progression of a summer day, moved from morning brightness to the golden warmth of afternoon. With that change came a subtle transformation in the garments. Structured silhouettes gave way to fluid shapes. Shorter, sharper lines dissolved into draped forms. A highlight of the midsection was a suede wrap dress in bronze, cinched at the waist with a double-wrapped belt. It captured both movement and restraint, the dual spirit of Hermès femininity, free yet grounded, delicate yet defined. Another standout was a silk linen trench coat in a faded clay hue, cut asymmetrically with large pockets and minimal hardware. It was practical, functional, and beautiful, an example of how Hermès balances utility with elegance. Accessories, always central to the house identity, played a refined supporting role. The Kelly bag appeared reinterpreted in woven raffia, giving it a new summer energy. The Birkin, a symbol of timeless luxury, was seen in soft matte leather, smaller and lighter than ever before. Hermès handbags are more than status icons. They are symbols of the brand's craftsmanship philosophy, where function meets form in perfect equilibrium. Footwear followed the same principle of simplicity: rope sandals, flat leather slides, and minimal ankle boots. Many were hand-braided or stitched without visible seams, reinforcing the artisanal narrative. Jewelry remained understated: slim gold cuffs, sculpted rings, and simple leather chokers with polished metal accents. Each accessory felt like an extension of the garment rather than an addition to it. Makeup and styling completed the overall impression of natural ease. Skin looked radiant and real. The models wore minimal foundation, sun-touched cheeks, and neutral tones on the lips. Hair was pulled back in loose ponytails or parted naturally. The effect was effortless and authentic, beauty that whispers rather than announces. Throughout the show, there was a noticeable consistency of emotion: calm, focus, and grace. The pacing was unhurried, the choreography fluid. This is what differentiates Hermès from other houses: its refusal to rush. In today's fashion world, where digital immediacy often dominates, Hermès stands for the value of time. Time to create, to refine, to feel. The collection seemed to remind the audience that true luxury is not in possession, but in experience. As the final looks appeared, the palette lightened again. Ivory, shell white, and golden beige returned to the runway. The designs became more ethereal: flowing dresses with open backs, sheer overlays that caught the light, and minimal silhouettes that spoke of freedom. The closing look summarized everything Hermès wanted to express this season: a one-shouldered dress made of ultra-soft leather in creamy white, cinched at the waist with a hand-braided belt. It represented harmony between tradition and innovation, between craftsmanship and emotion. The music faded. The models made their final walk. The audience responded not with roaring applause, but with quiet admiration. That silence, the kind filled with respect, was the highest form of appreciation a brand like Hermès could receive. As Nadège Vanhee-Cybulski stepped out briefly to acknowledge her team, the message was clear: Hermès does not compete for attention. It commands it through integrity. Beyond the runway, the Spring-Summer 2026 collection carries a larger cultural message. It challenges the current pace of consumption and redefines what it means to dress well. In a world obsessed with trends, Hermès offers permanence. In an era of noise, it offers quiet. Every garment in this show was designed to endure, both physically and emotionally. The craftsmanship ensures longevity, and the aesthetic resists obsolescence. These are clothes meant to be lived in, not just worn once. Hermès's vision aligns with a broader movement in luxury: a return to authenticity, transparency, and emotional value. Yet unlike others, Hermès has never needed to reinvent itself to remain relevant. Its consistency is its evolution. From the very beginning, the house has honored its equestrian roots, its devotion to leatherwork, and its belief in material honesty. That heritage remains the heartbeat of every new season. What changes is only the expression, updated for the modern woman who values freedom, substance, and subtle power. Spring-Summer 2026 captures the essence of contemporary femininity through stillness. The Hermès woman is not performing. She is existing, confidently, quietly, completely. Her strength lies in her serenity. In the end, the show reaffirmed what Hermès stands for: craftsmanship as philosophy, design as meditation, and fashion as the art of timeless simplicity. At a time when luxury brands compete for spectacle, Hermès reminds us that refinement has no need for noise. The Spring-Summer 2026 women's collection is a manifesto of elegance, an ode to slowness, purity, and precision. In Paris, where trends are born and forgotten in a heartbeat, Hermès continues to whisper its truth. That beauty, when made with care, never fades.